Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Call of Duty has been almost seemingly ignoring a couple of wildly important things as of late. Things that you look in a comment section on a YouTube Call of Duty video or in response to a Call of Duty related tweet, and the majority of the people, it seems like, will be talking about this stuff. And today I wanted to sort of bring this back into the light, give it some more attention, and ideally help make a positive impact on the game by maybe having the right people see this and, you know, enforcing some action to be taken in some certain areas. So as we go through everything today, if you enjoy the video or if you simply just want to share it around and try and get more eyes on it, do me a favor, drop a like. It's always really appreciated. And if you are new to the channel or you simply have not subscribed yet, every single day I got you covered with news, updates, patch notes, meta breakdowns. Basically everything going on in COD is right here, so feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. But the first thing I want to talk about is a update that we're long overdue on when it comes to Call of Duty and just a general level of transparency with the community, and it's in regards to matchmaking, specifically within Warzone. Because as you may recall, you know, a little bit over a month ago we got this blog post, the first time ever that Call of Duty actually detailed their matchmaking system. And some of this stuff is, you know, kind of hard to believe just based off what they say. Like, they give us this whole breakdown of what goes into their matchmaking process. Part of it's connection, part of it's your time to a match, part of it's your platform, whether you use voice chat, you know, the recent maps and modes you've been playing. But they say things like this: as the community will attest, ping is king. No one in the community is going to attest that ping is king, just because it's been proven that ping is not always the most important, you know, factor in getting into a match within Call of Duty. There's been multiple tests throughout the years that prove that's just not the case. So they say things like that, and it's like, okay, well, how much of this blog should we actually take seriously? But one thing that they do mention in this is towards the top, they say, today's intel is intended to kick off a dialogue and is a new beginning for what we hope will be an ongoing conversation about matchmaking. For one, like I said, this happened a little bit over a month ago, and this was supposed to happen shortly after the launch of Season 1, which took place obviously back in December, and it didn't happen until almost the launch of Season 2. This happened like a week before the launch of Season 2, so shortly after there. Certainly wasn't accurate, but they say it's an ongoing conversation. We haven't really had any more updates on the matchmaking since this dropped over a month ago, so I don't know if I'd consider that ongoing necessarily. Sharing our process and learnings with you to answer questions that we've seen. This blog focuses on how matchmaking works across multiplayer only. We will be continuing the conversation about matchmaking in other modes such as Warzone at a later date. Well, like I said, it's been well over a month since this has dropped, and we've heard nothing in regards to Warzone's matchmaking. I do question, you know, based on their descriptions here of what goes into matchmaking within multiplayer, how much Warzone matchmaking would actually differ based on their descriptions here. If it differs so much that it needs this much time to have a whole new blog written about it, that's kind of interesting, I guess, also kind of weird. And if it doesn't differ, which I can't imagine it does, why is it that it's taken so long to actually see a blog in regards to the Warzone matchmaking here, you know, addressing skill based and everything else that's come up in regards to why Warzone might feel so funky or awkward in certain scenarios or in certain games. So it just seems like at this point they are kind of ignoring this this topic within Warzone specifically. Now, we have yet to see any details addressed or any explanations into Warzone's matchmaking system. So this is something they said they're going to do. I just want to do my best to try and hold them accountable and say, okay, hey, where is it? We should be seeing this, you know, ideally sometime soon here. So this is something that, in my opinion, definitely needs more attention, and hopefully it's a little bit more obviously transparent than the multiplayer one, where it's just clear things that aren't accurate. Now, another thing I want to talk about is, well, the anti-cheat again. We've been talking about this a lot lately because it's been the subject of a lot of hot conversations and hot topics lately. And recently, Modern Warzone, who is one of the larger news and information accounts in the Call of Duty community, posted a poll asking, do you believe Call of Duty's anti-cheat works? And just over 21,000 people voted, which is relatively small in comparison to the you know, overall Call of Duty player base, but that's still a good chunk of people, especially when the results look like this. Over 21,000 people voted. 87% of those 21K said they don't actually think Call of Duty's anti-cheat works. Now, regardless of, you know, your thoughts on this, the fact that 21,000 people voted this significantly is not good for Call of Duty. Now, you heard me say 21K. Like, that's a lot of people. That's a stadium full of people, right? But Call of Duty's majority player base is not these people. It's not the people voting on these polls. It's really not even the people that are going to be watching this video. We've known for some time now, the majority of the people who play Call of Duty are the ultra casuals. They don't really get on YouTube. They don't really get on social media whatsoever to watch videos or to read up on things. They might jump on here and there when they see there's a major download and they had to search up the patch notes or something for it. But really, they just get on and play the game. They don't really pay attention to all the noise elsewhere. They're just here for the gameplay. That's the most people that you'll see on Call of Duty. Now, there is the player base minority, which is the vocal majority. That's us who are, chronically online, looking at the patch notes on Twitter, on their social media pages, watching YouTube videos consistently. We're the minority of the player base, but we're obviously the loudest because we're always talking on social media and whatnot. So the fact that so many people overwhelmingly believe that the anti-cheat does not work is extremely concerning for Call of Duty. And we've seen various different anti-cheat updates over the past couple of months where they say, hey, we've banned 6,000 accounts here or 20,000 accounts there. Hey, we're working on new mitigations and whatnot. And that's awesome. That's cool. But we all know the anti-cheat communication and the anti-cheat implementation is not good enough. And the attention to it just seems to be extremely underwhelming from Call of Duty's side. While it's cool that there's mitigations that turn hacker bullets into marshmallows or that make players invisible or whatever once you start shooting them, it doesn't change the fact that there is a massive cheating problem in the game right now. Now, whether you want to say the anti-cheat doesn't work or not, I think it's pretty obvious that there is an anti-cheat. Like, Ricochet is a thing in the game. We all know that it does exist to a certain extent. We've seen players get kicked out with the Ricochet icon in the kill feed because it picked up on them cheating in some way and it banned them, right? We know for a fact that there has been those mitigations in gameplay. We've seen clips of someone, a hacker shooting someone and then that other player goes invisible, or their gun drops, or they get the splat mechanic where it forces them into the ground at 1,000,000 miles an hour and it insta kills them, right? So like, that part of the anti-cheat is there. That's objectively a thing. It does exist. It just exists in a state that is so bad that it makes it seem like there is no anti-cheat. So it can't be ignored anymore, really. Like, we're getting to a point where the past 2 weeks, basically every single time I'm on COD Twitter, it's just anti-cheat sucks, anti-cheat sucks, anti-cheat sucks, anti-cheat sucks. Hey, new loadout, anti-cheat sucks, right? It is such a huge conversation in the community right now that it really feels like Call of Duty has to address this in a larger way than saying, hey, we banned this many accounts or we made this mitigation happen. It needs to be, we're actively looking into upgrading Ricochet Anti-Cheat further to prevent cheaters from making their way into the game. And that's just part one of how Ricochet is so broken and is consistently ignored, it seems like. Part two of this isn't really correlated to the poll or anything here, but it's the fact that the Ricochet Shadowban system is just so incredibly busted as well. And this isn't something new. This has been ongoing from Warzone 1 all the way to now when Ricochet was first implemented. The fact that players are consistently shadow banned through a very poor spam report system is just pathetic, truly. If you ever wondered why you queue into a game and it immediately says searching for 250 ping, it means you're shadow banned. And why did you get shadow banned? Well, you probably weren't cheating whatsoever. Now, cheaters do get shadow banned. They just go and make a new account and then they continue to cheat, right? Because that's a part of the broken part of Ricochet. But with the shadow ban system, if you get reported just a couple of times in game at times, it'll instantly trigger a shadow ban. And it's ridiculous because with those, you pretty much just have to wait them out. They usually take like anywhere between 4 days and a week. So that just means unless you want to play in cheat-filled lobbies, you can't really play COD if you're shadow banned. And so many innocent players get shadow bans because of the spam report system. Now, they've said previously that that's not how it works, but it clearly is because so many people suffer from that, flawed report, spam report abuse system that they end up getting shadow banned and then have to wait it out. And then certain players get stuck in a shadow ban loop and it's a whole issue. And like I said, this isn't new. I've talked about this before on the channel. I'll continue to talk about it so long as it's a system that punishes players who do not deserve it. If the same action was taken against actual cheaters, we might not have poll results that look like this, right? But instead, innocent players, I know many of you have commented it on my videos in the past saying, hey, I don't talk with a mic or anything. It says I'm, voice comm banned, because when you get spam reported, it defaults to voice comm banning you, and then you get shadow banned after that if you get spam reported more. And it can be something of, oh, you just slammed somebody in game, you broke their camera, they got trashed, they got dumpstered on, they spam reported you because they're mad that you're better than them, and then you're shadow banned. Sometimes it can be because you were toxic in chat and they spam reported you, and then you're shadow banned. I don't think that's deserving of a shadow ban. I mean, you shouldn't be overly toxic, but still, it's a system that is beyond broken, beyond busted, and continually abused, and Call of Duty refuses to acknowledge it. The Ricochet team has not really ever gone out of their way to say, hey, shadow ban system is broken, we're going to be working on this to improve, false positives of a player being shadow banned or something like that. There's been zero acknowledgement of anything of that sort. It's just been ignored pretty much since its inception, and it's been broken since its inception. So there's a lot of work that has to be done here across the board in terms of general communication. I think is the overlying theme here between matchmaking, between the anti-cheat, between shadow bans. They've got to do better. They can't keep ignoring the obvious problems here, or the game's just going to continuously feel like it's in a worse and worse state. And then that kills all the new hype of a seasonal update happening with new weapons and new maps and new modes. None of that matters if the game was just plagued by bad cheating and bad matchmaking and bad servers and whatnot. So that's going to wrap things up for this one. If you enjoyed the video, do me a favor, drop a like on it. Again, try and get more eyes on it, try and have the right people see it. Sharing the video really does help with that. And if you are new to the channel and you want to guarantee you're always up to date with all things going on in COD, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications on your way out. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.